Welcome to the Audio Renaissance presentation of On Death and Dying. Written by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, M.D. Originally adapted for audio and produced by Tony Hutz. This revised edition, produced by Joel Whitesides. On Death and Dying was published some 2.5 years after the inception of an experimental seminar begun in the early 1960s. Initially, the seminar was especially designed to help physicians, clergy, and healthcare professionals to communicate with and learn from those who were nearing the end of their lives. However, with the book's appearance, Dr. Kubler-Ross's groundbreaking work also gained wide awareness and acceptance with the general public. What started as a small seminar became a powerful force that brought death out of the darkness and forever altered our perspective and treatment of the terminally ill. Because of the extraordinarily personal nature of the text, we have chosen, with the author's permission, to present the work as it was written, as if Dr. Kubler-Ross were speaking to you herself. The conversations you will hear in the program were originally conducted by Dr. Kubler-Ross and one or more of her associates, including chaplains, other doctors, and students. For the sake of clarity, we have combined these various interviewers into one voice. And although the words of our many patients will be read by only a few different voices, remember that each interview is unique. Each was held with a different individual. Patients will be separately introduced in the course of the program. And now, as your reader and interviewer, representing Dr. Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, here is Carol Bilger.
When I was asked if I would be willing to write about death and dying, I enthusiastically accepted the challenge. When I actually sat down and began to wonder what I'd gotten myself into, it became a different matter. Where do I begin? What do I include? How much can I say to strangers who are going to hear my words? How much can I share from this experience with dying patients? How many things are communicated non-verbally and have to be felt, experienced, seen, and can hardly be translated into words? Let me say at the outset that this program is not meant to be a treatise on how to manage dying patients, nor is it intended as a complete study of the psychology of the dying. It is simply an account of a new and challenging opportunity to refocus on the patient as a human being, to include him in dialogues, to learn from him the strengths and weaknesses of our hospital management of the patient. We've asked him to be our teacher so that we may learn more about the final stage of life with all its anxieties, fears, and hopes. I am simply telling the stories of my patients who shared their agonies, their expectations, and their frustrations with us. It is hoped that this will encourage others not to shy away from the hopelessly sick, but to get closer to them, as they can help them much during their final hours. The few who can do this will also discover that it can be a mutually gratifying experience. They will learn much about the functioning of the human mind, the unique human aspects of our existence, and will emerge from the experience enriched, and perhaps with fewer anxieties about their own finality. Before I begin to share with you what our patients shared with us, let's look at the context from which their thoughts and feelings spring. Let us begin our exploration of death and dying by looking at our deep-rooted fear of these events. Epidemics have taken a great toll of lives in past generations. Death in infancy and early childhood was frequent, and there were few families who didn't lose a member of the family at an early age. Medicine has changed greatly in the last decades. Widespread vaccinations have practically eradicated many illnesses, at least in Western Europe and the United States. The use of antibiotics has contributed to an ever-decreasing number of fatalities in infectious diseases.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?